Now, there are several speakers, there are another 15 or 20 maybe that are signed up. I'm going to, ask folks if it's duplicative, if your point has already been made. Quote, Khan is next.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
Okay, I'm here, Typhoid Jakabi. Excuse me? Okay. I have been working for Gatama Yellow since 2007. Just here to testify that, as she said, I got be charged for vehicle repair. Vehicle repair. I did an accident in on January 3rd, and I called the garage. That was around like 9 p.m. I called the garage. They asked me if there's nobody like injured, and I said no. And then they asked me if I can do the police report. I said yes, so which I did. And then after that, they asked me if I can drive the car back to the garage. I said okay, I can do it. And I took the car by myself to the garage. So when I got down there, what the dispatcher told me, he said, this is my responsibility. I said, okay, I know my right and my responsibility in this country. But the thing, there's no guarantee when you take the car, you're not gonna get any accident. I'm here because I wanna work. So I'm not gonna take the car because I wanna go and eat some money. I got family, I have to go and make some money for my family. So he said, okay, so now you gotta go home and the next day, you're gonna come and bring the police report. I said, no problem. And then I wait like 2-3 days. I went back to the precinct and they give me the police report, which I took back to the garage. And then when they checked, they said, okay, everything is okay. So if you wanna walk back, no problem, we gotta give you car back. I said, okay, no problem, I live around here. I gotta walk and stay in this garage. Since 2007, I'm here. And I don't take any break, even leave the country. The only vacation I took was like a week. I went to Montreal and they charged me. I called them, I said, I'm not here. I gotta spend like 1 week with my family, and they charged me like a Sunday night. They said they didn't get no one to take the car. How come you are not even in the country and you already told them and they're gonna charge you for the leave? I don't know how. And also, they give me the car, so I start driving like a week later, and I show on my receipt, vehicle repair, $2,700, 0927 cents. And they charge me for that for vehicle repair. And I asked them, how come you gotta charge me? Is the car have like insurance or not? I don't know, I got my private car, I pay for insurance, so when someone hit me or I hit someone, that's why I'm paying that insurance. So I don't know how you're gonna charge me here, I'm paying the lease. So I called the Taxi Alliance Union, I told them that my garage charged me for vehicle repair. They said, okay, it's something against the TLC rule. So what happened, we're gonna try to, we asked you if you wanna open a complaint, I said yes. And they asked me why, because a lot of drivers are scared to do it, as they said here, because when you open a complaint against the garage, they're gonna tell you they're not gonna give you no more the cab. So that's why a lot of drivers, we are sick, we are scary, so we don't want to take them to the court. So I called David Ross 2 times, and then he said, okay, if you wanna open a complaint against them, you're gonna do it. And then he asked me also why you wanna do it. I told him I have been working 7 years in this garage, and before, even someone hit you or hit someone, they're not gonna ask you for anything, even the vehicle repair. So now they charge me almost $3,000, so I'm not gonna pay. And every night they take $10 from my lease. So we had hearing on May 8th, and the attorney postponed the case, and now they give me another date, which is on the 22nd. That I think that's on Monday. So we're gonna go there. I don't know what's gonna happen. Now, if they said here that they wanna reduce the penalty from 10,000 to.
Sorry, I'm just gonna ask you to sum up because we have a lot of speakers.
30 seconds, please.
Go right ahead.
So I would like to ask you, please, to increase this penalty from $10,000 to $50,000 Please, we work hard to make our life. We have family. We have to take care of them. We have kids. Since I left work last night by 2, I went home, I take care of all the kids, and I took them to school. I didn't sleep yet. I'm here today to testify, so you can help us. We need your help. Please.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir, I want to speak about...
Can you just give your name, sir?
My name is Liaquat Khan. Liaquat Khan. Sorry, I don't speak very well English. I try to explain. Every driver in big trouble, they are afraid about the garages. They are millionaire people, and we are very poor people. And they try to get more and more money from our pocket. Like I work with the Andy Garage, West 44th Street. My son is 22 years old. He's supposed to go to school, but he drives a cab. He drives night, I drive daytime. He charged the lease before, he charged $1,700. After when they changed the rule, he charged $1,865 for both drivers. This is an escape car. And when I heard that some drivers, the rule is changed, the lease is actually, he cannot charge more than $738 for the day driver. And also night driver for the rule regulation. And I tell him, after 2-3 months, Andy, you charge me a lot of money. This is unfair.
And have you brought a complaint to us?
Yes, yes, I
okay.
did.
And is that still pending, or has that been acted upon?
No,
the numbers, I don't want to get into the details of your case here with you, but the numbers you quote sound like that would be a violation. So I'm wondering if that was a complaint that we've acted on.
Yes, I filed a complaint and case in process. And David Ross called me 2 times. He said, Mr. Khan, don't come. You come next, maybe after. They try to lower the fine, $10,000 to $1,000.
Okay.
But
thank you.
He said, you have to wait. I said, no, I applied before. Supposed we have to pay the $10,000 fine because he is a big crime. And he charged $1,800, $1,865. I have all proof. And when he would pay the lease, he takes the all end shift papers, end shift, end shift. I have 7 days. I work 7 days, man.
I assure you, I will consult with our police cap unit and make sure that the complaint has been handled. And if there's, if the facts do warrant a violation, we will act on that.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
When I say you charge Andy too much, the lease is actually $738 for me and also my son. You charge $350 at around $400 extra every week. Plus, I use his Easy Pass. Easy Pass show only Triborough, Midtown Tunnel. You have pay $480 whatever on the toll. When I get the print and shift, I see okay $480. When I go to the Holland Tunnel, New Jersey, anyway, my son go over there, he didn't show anything over. And they go in their computer, they know how much is this. And every week, Mr. Chairman, they charge us $40, $30, $50 extra Easy Pass because we have no record, we have no nothing. And the end shift, all you take,
Mr. Khan, I'm going to ask you to...
Yeah, give the end shift.
Your time is up.
We cannot calculate. They have everything in the computer, but they take the end shift because they want to...
Sir, please, your time is up. I will ensure that your case is investigated fully, and if there's a violation, I assure you, we will act upon that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Mamadou Ba.
You called before.
Okay. Give your name, sir.
Good morning. My name is Harun Rashid. Thank you for your time, Chairman, ESK and TLC Commissioner here today. My name is Harun Rashid. I have been driving yellow cab since 2004. Most of the time I driving cab on auto leasing.
Say that again? Most of the time?
I driving on auto leasing company.
Auto leasing company.
I lease medallion number 8K28 on December 24, 2010. I was involved in an accident on 95 north. While nobody injured, but another car was good. My cab was little bit damaged. I called police. I filed out an accident report and brought it to the garage. In my estimate, it was about 600 to 700 for the repair. About 2 weeks later, I noticed an extra $150 charge on my receipt. And I asked them why they charged this. They said to me it was for the accident, and I paid $150 each week up to until April 18, 2011 for a total $2,050. I filed complaint with the TLC in 2011, but I received no response. After 1.5 years, in August 2012, I refiled a complaint with Davis Ross of the Lease Cap Enforcement Unit. AutoCap agreed to pay back my full of amount 2050 in November. But March 2013 I didn't get check. But 2 years after my final payment they received after the April. They get back my money. I pay their insurance. When I pay the lease, I pay their insurance. So I think if new rule, completely injustice and immoral action toward us taxi drivers.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Noor Mangal,
Okay.
I've been called before.
Yes, we're, all right.
Yes, sir. 3 minutes is not sufficient time for the drivers. The 3 days that we've taken, these corruptions are there. We cannot finish it day and night. Happens. I've been driving a cab for past 15, 16 years now. My son recently started driving a cab, and he wanted to go to school. He did his GED because he couldn't go to the regular school. I couldn't afford him. Then we find a garage. We look for the garages. We find a garage, and they gave us a work. Me and my son. He worked night time, and I worked the daytime. And he quit his 2-year college because he wanted to help me. I'm a kidney patient, and that's why the problem sitting and driving a cab 12 hours. So this company, which is LIC Taxi, which is in, I have all the receipts, and I've been filed a complaint with Mr. David Ross. My name is Noor Mangal, and me and my son are famous for father and son. All the garages know the guy before here. He made a speech. I have his receipt up here, as me and my son were looking for the job, and we had nothing at home to feed my family because we couldn't get the job. Finally, we agreed to work with this guy. He was charging us $1,797 for me and for my son. He's supposed to charge us, me, $690 for the regular car, and my son $797 for the regular car, the night shift. But he was charging us $833, me night shift, $964, my son night shift. Bringing this fines from 10,000 to 1,000, only you guys gonna encourage these garages to commit these kind of crimes and all the time. Another question here is, when I came to this country, I remember I was paying in New Jersey $25 a ticket, parking ticket. The ticket's now gone up to $65. The fines go up, don't go down.
That's right.
When there is when you have a punishment high, crimes go down. Punishment is low, crimes go up. This is how I request, Mr. Chairman, to you especially, as you have kids, maybe your brothers, we struggle to come to this country. It's not an easy job. It's really not an easy job that to work in a taxi. I have a master's degree. Why I prefer to work as a taxi? Because it's an honest job. Nobody's on my shoulders. I work hard and bring money and feed my family. I have an 8-year-old daughter. I'm responsible for those. Now these people, I have all these receipts. I have this guy who before made a speech, I don't know his name. He's from the garage, a fat guy, big guy. He called me and my son. He's going to give us a job. When we get there, he said, you bring a third driver. This is the receipt I have. I paid him money. But he didn't give us a job. He says, you don't bring a third driver, we don't give you a job. The reason is the third driver, when you have 2 drivers, responsible drivers in one house, why you need a third driver when we are responsible, me and my son working 6 days or 7 days, that's our problem. But you get your pay. No, third driver, because this way, the daily basis, they can charge you. This is they'll go around the law. Please, don't let them go around the law. Don't pass that law, please. Not one person, me. I'm coming here, I'm limping because I have a pain in my knee. The reason is I'm driving hard to make a buck, go home and feed my family. Please, I thank you very much, Chairman and Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, very much.
Mr. Chairman.
Retaliation against a driver for making a complaint to the TLC. So just to be clear, that's what that is. The penalty for an overcharge starts at, I'm going to say $200 and becomes $500. Shoot, I don't have that in my head. But each instance is that. And that we have not proposed to change. I'm seeing Peter Mazer tell me it's 500 period.
500 for the first, 1,000 thereafter.
500 for the first and 1,000 thereafter, and each shift or week would be a separate overcharge.
Am I on?
Yes.
When you say 500 for the first, 1,000 thereafter, is this again per driver, or if you assume that the fleet has multiple drivers, if he does it once with guy A and then does it again to guy B, does that guy B constitute a second offense because it is the same owner whose conduct is wrongful, or does he have the opportunity to commit a second offense across, I don't know, 100 drivers?
So each charge to each driver would, if in excess of the lease cap amount, is a violation. So if a fleet operates 100 cars and they overcharge 100 drivers every day for every shift in a given week, that would be 1,400 overcharges. 100 drivers times 14 shifts in a week. And to be clear, and I think it would be worth having the staff brief you, commissioners, on the enforcement efforts here. When I talked about the fines that have been assessed and collected, those have I believe, Muriel, correct me if I'm wrong, all been settlements that were for fines well under, I will be clear about this, well under the maximum amount that could be charged. We've been pursuing a policy of seeking settlements so as to ensure, so as to fix the problem. Settlements in which a fleet that could be charged many thousands of dollars will pay a settlement of a lower amount than could be charged if we, for each individual one added together, plus a promise to obey the law from going forward, which of course are obligated to do anyway, but with the understanding that if we find a subsequent violation, that we will come down with the full weight of the penalties. And that's enforcement policy that I should that I think you should be briefed on and understand fully, and you may have feedback on that.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Assuming that that's the policy that we've used, has it been effective, and have we gone back for those fleets who we have settled with for an amount that is less than they would have been exposed to? Have we gone back and done any kind of examination or some determination that in fact they have taken the straight and narrow, and therefore the policy is effective, and it's one that should be continued, versus we go back and find out that they've taken advantage of the system, and perhaps we should rethink the policy.
I think that's an important question to cover at the briefing.
Okay.
I will arrange for that briefing at our next meeting. Okay, thank you, sir.
Good morning. Yeah, my name is Mohammed Ali Aban, and I just want to point out all the drivers.
And, let me just say, I want to advise the speakers, because I know some of the commissioners have commitments and are going to have to be leaving now or very shortly. So I'm going to ask each speaker to be very, very brief.
I'll be very brief, sir. I'll be within 3 minutes, and I'm going to explain one point, and one and only one point. We, the drivers, we working 12-hour shift. The first 6 juicy or like more productive hours, the 6 hours we work for the fleet and the gas, and then it's our money. And that's just like we don't know how much we're gonna make per night. So putting the extra burden by to passing these laws, like the repairs and extra credit card, and most of the time this is not clear yet in the commission. If the credit card machine don't work, what should the driver should do? Like take the burden. We're also taking the burden of non-paid credit cards. So also put that one also in your mind when this thing happened. Fleet is not paying for that miss credit card. Like passenger is already left. We cannot keep them like unlawful imprisonment. It's called. So that's also the point we have to be point out. And if you pass these laws, it's going to put the extra burden. And if you require a nice, courteous and English-speaking driver, it's right in front of you. And what are you expecting from us? So if you want to, you want us to give us continue the good service to the citizen of the New York.
My eyesight would better. I would look for your medallion number.
So please do not put the extra burden on the drivers, and do not pass this hideous law. And the passing from 10,000 to 1,000 is nothing for these fleet owners. Most of these fleet owners are mobs, if you know that.
Ryan Richardson, Bill Lindauer. I know that at least one of those is here.
Ryan Richardson should be here. Okay.
There are another 20 signed up. Yes,
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Thank you for this opportunity. I commend the administration of the town, which claims there is an increase in tourism industry. And let's not forget, cabbies are part of that industry. We contribute.
Yes.
We are the window at the airport. Secondly, is regarding treating medallion owners as one entity. So one complaint from one driver, second complaint it should be taken as second, and each time fine should increase to. After a certain number of fines, sir, he should be suspended for a certain time, whichever you decide. Our licenses are suspended. When we do fault, we pay fine, and then we are given suspension also. And this honest statement I would like to make: drivers really don't make money. They work 84 hours. It doesn't count it to even state minimum. You can verify, your offices can do that. And in the end, I'd like to say that drivers are like cantaloupe and owners are like knives. You fall, as a cantaloupe falls on knife, he gets a cut. Or knife falls on cantaloupe, again cantaloupe will get a cut. But I believe in the August office chaired by you, you will do the party cabbies.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. I'm sorry, sir. So there's a question, please.
Well, it's not necessarily a question, just a comment. I just wanted to thank you for the portion of your statement that offered a practical suggestion. That's helpful for us. I would suggest that for those of you, the rest of you who are standing up, if you have something practical that you would like to offer to us, please spend your time doing that, because we can do something with that. Not that I want to diminish your opportunity to speak, but I can't help if I don't have practical solutions. I just think that the time is better spent if you proceed that way. That's all I wanted to say.
Our situation when they are not working, what should we do? Let the passengers go with the $50 or $70 or $20 Fair?
Well, that's not quite in the vein of a suggestion, but you're saying there's a problem that needs to be
Yes,
addressed, and I
addressed.
understand that. Thank you. So we have Mr. Lindauer, Victor Salazar, Luis Molina.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Obviously, in this industry, there are more horrors than in a Hammer Films anthology. And if these giveaway rules...
I think I like the cantaloupe one better as a
Does it work with a honeydew?
Yes, sorry.
And I shudder to think of the countless horrors that would be unleashed by adoption of these giveaway rules. When it comes to greed, the word enough is not in garages and brokers' vocabulary. They are simply scrupulously unscrupulous. 50,000 drivers, be damned! To grant virtual carte blanche to this appalling cabal of malicious millionaires is to aid and abet criminality. Already they overcharge with virtual impunity. Don't be bamboozled or flummoxed by their lies or dazzled by their big exploitation earned big bucks. To acquiesce in their diabolical onerous shenanigans would be abomination. As I said to Alan Bromberg when he had his spleen removed, it's better to be spleenless than spineless. And may I point out, the garage is not the only ones who can file a lawsuit.
Thank you for that, Bill.
You're welcome. In fact, if they turned over a new leaf and were truly honest, they could discard their army of lawyers, lobbyists, and PR flack. They could take millions, not cause drivers to live in abject poverty, and cause a possible driver shortage because of these onerous rules. These are execrable, unconscionable proposals. Stop this outrage. Don't make this a day of infamy. Thank you.
Thank you. That witness was Bill Lindauer, L-I-N-D-A-U-E-R.
Correct.
Victor Salazar, Luis Molina, Gaur, I'm sorry, Likud it looks like, but it probably isn't. Gaur Likud. Yes, sir. Please, Victor.
Still morning, good morning, commissioners. I want to be very brief. Most of the points were already made. But briefly, my name is Victor Salazar. I've been driving a car since early 1991. And through all these years, I've seen garages and brokers enrich themselves. I remember when where Omega Broker had just a small office in the Stanway Street in Astoria for 6 or 7 desks. Now they have a big building in Astoria as well. And for instance, I see Mystic Garage open 3 or 4 gasoline stations across in New York City area. They're getting richer and richer, taxi drivers getting poorer.
And poor.
And poor, exactly. And to make the story, like one of the commissioners already left, he was asking about that we call ourselves as independent contractors, but actually we're very dependent. We depend very much on the garages and brokers and on the regulations that you actually write and you actually, impose on us. I strongly believe that these rules and regulations will empower the garages and brokers with the tools to find loopholes, to construct loopholes, and to continue exploiting drivers as they've been doing since the early 1980s. I urge you, commissioners and taxi workers and taxi limousine commission, to vote no on these particular rules. To make rules, not loopholes. That's basically it.
Thank you. Okay, by the way, I'm reminded that I should have noted quite some time ago that we've been joined by Commissioner DiGarcia as well.
Oh, okay. All right. Good afternoon. I ask God to give me the words that I need to say so I can be able to speak succinctly and to the point. I'm Luis Molina, 484870, since 1995, when I first entered into a very corruptible business. Corrupt indeed, because I have seen in my lifetime income theft that has happened to me personally. And recently, past couple of years, I was a victim of 2 garages that stink like horse. I lost close to $5,000 with Sufi management of overcharges. And this Pakistani garage repair shop never refunded my $5,000. I asked the union to intervene on my behalf with regards to income theft. And I had the same thing that happened to me with SLS Jet. Simon Garber took from me $9,500 something from overcharges, and he has yet to give me back my money. And Sufi management, I understand, was put out of business because they were found to be in heinous TLC violation rules, doing some really gangster, illegal bankster stuff. As we speak, okay, when I was with Sufi management a few years ago, I was in a homeless shelter and I had no health care. I needed Medicaid to sustain my health because I became mentally ill on the job. When I first joined the organizing committee 8 years ago, the union organizers found that I was mentally ill and I had to step down to get some serious help.
Sir, I'm gonna, your time's almost up here. Let me just ask you, have you brought these complaints to our complaint unit?
Yes, this is before that new rules were passed to make it that you would have teeth and to have the power to investigate the garages. Because up to now, they think that the TLC inspectors are jokes.
Well,
they don't think that you're serious, and the Taxi Insider newspaper think that you are like Opie.
all right. Well, we'll make sure that your complaint is investigated, and if the facts bear out a violation, that we will pursue it to the fullest. So thank you.
I want to get out of poverty as fast as possible because I have $2,460 of back rent that I owe to my landlord in my new place, my lovely place. I live in Bed-Stuy. It's a lovely studio apartment that I have. I want to keep my place to live. HRA has denied me food stamps and rental assistance. That's reality.
Thank you.
My name is NYTWA. I've been driving cab since 1993, and I've been working with Susan. We're located on 6th Avenue in Canal, now is there in Brooklyn.
What was the name of the company?
Susan Malcolm. In 2009, I had an accident, and they fired me from that garage after 15 years. And I received a notice from small plain court from Brooklyn for the same accident. The garage was suing me for the accident for $1,200. And that fine was confirmed by the court. But I have to pay the garage $1,200 while I pay the lease of that car. And I saw them the lease I paid after that accident. Now on that lease, everything was included. So why they charging me $1,200? He says, the guy make the rule. I said, no, the TLC make the rule. Or the tax in Europe. I said, no, the garage make the rule. So they just support the garage. So they forcing me to pay $1,200 to the garage for the accident. I didn't pay yet. I didn't pay. But they pursued me for that. So if this rule is passed, I'm gonna die because they are already charging the driver for accident repair. This rule is passed, it's not good for us. So please, vote no. Vote no.
CHEIKH.
Got it.
Last name MBAYE.
Got
I've been
it.
a taxi driver since 1993.
I do not work for the garages. I work for a leasing company, which is what you call Dove driving model, which I have no company with my garage itself, but I have friends who work for garages. And since not everybody is going to be able to make it here, so I make my responsibility to be able to defend, I think, some of them. However, I know that one of my friends works for a garage. He works for Midtown Center. They are overcharged $144 per night, per shift. And as soon as TLC sent, like 2 months ago, officials to ask them to place bill of right, driver's bill of right, to expose it to the garage so everybody can see for drivers to know their rights. As soon as the TLC officers stepped out, they put it in the garbage. They don't care. Okay? Overcharge is how they...
Sorry, did you say that was the Midtown Center?
Midtown Center, located on West 38th Street, between 10 and 11 Avenues. Okay, TLC officers went there, placed their bill of rights for drivers, they threw it in the garbage. My 2 migrant works there. So I don't think that's right. And the other thing is that asking for a driver to pay for car repair for a vehicle that they don't own, why that should be, why they should be guaranteed a profit by TLC at no risk at all. Okay, and all the risks put to the driver who has literally nothing but one shift, one income of a shift. That's all the driver has. They have their investments, they have millions of dollars, they put to make more money, yes, but why should they bear any risk of that investment? Like, why should the driver bear the responsibility of the risk of their business, guaranteeing them an income without any risk? I don't think that's fair, I don't think that's just. And if you're in business to make money, you must bear some responsibility and take some risks. And drivers who have nothing paying for them, for their car repairs, that's wrong. I pay for my car repair because I own my vehicle. But I think if I'm caught at an accident, I have liability insurance that's supposed to cover for my expenses. But these drivers who don't even own the vehicle, you know, they're just renting them. And they rented the cars to 3 drivers, different drivers a day. The cars are terrible. They're not good conditions at all. They don't know fix them until they break down. Drivers always lose half of their shifts when they have a breakdown. They don't get refund for credit for the time that they lost after an accident. And they're not talking about all of this. They're asking you to reduce the fine that you're supposed to pay in case of a complaint, which is not even happening. Drivers not even coming forward. We have a lot more drivers who are being overcharged, who do not show up, who do not come up for a complaint, for scare of being retaliation. That happens because drivers have nothing. If they don't go to work, they don't make money, they don't have an income. So they do not come forward to you to ask to file a complaint against their bosses. That alone should be, you know, I think, checked out. Yet, the very little ones who come, they ask you to reduce their penalties to a lower grade, like $1,000. That's ridiculous. You know, like bring down the fines of the drivers lower. You don't do it for the drivers. All I hear from TLC when they pass laws for violations from drivers is making more money, paying more money, paying more money. Never down. So they want you to give them a break. $1,000 is like $100. I would say even less than $100 to me. That's what it means to them. You see? So that's my point. And if I don't forget, I think asking a driver to repair a car is wrong. They're overcharging for sure. They don't care about TLC rules. They're not here for the city or for the benefits of the city or for the interests of the city. They're there for themselves, for their own pockets. And they don't want the city to put more medallions that would protect the drivers, because if you had more medallions available to the drivers, then it would not be that.
Understood. All right, thank you, sir.
For 11 years, I have a 2 master's degree, one from here, one back home. This is the toughest job I ever done in my life.
Yeah.
The day I take off, I got more pain than when I'm walking. True. It's like I'm dying every day, this job. Every day I'm dying. And I have now health problem issue. And I have a sugar problem. I had high blood pressure because of this job.
That's right. Yes.
And I know normally, in a normal society, I wouldn't be in this industry because it's more corrupt than anything. People who are work every day, they spend all their money for these garages. One car make $100,000 profit every year. one medallion owners. And if we do all the statistics at the end of the year, you don't even have $1,000 in your bank account. And that's not fair. That has to change. You commissioners should be on the side of people, not the side of people who own the money. Because if you defend more people, God would give you more power, to help poor people. Don't think when you help poor people, God would leave you alone. No. Side with the poor people because you did it before. You are a hero for us. Last time you vote for us, and God would compensate. God will be with poor people because He put you there. If you help us, God would raise you up level where you want to go. Trust me. And the insurance issue, that's like the lady said, that's absurd. We're paying for the insurance every day. They shouldn't think about paying from our pocket their insurance. Second, I want you to increase the retaliation to $100,000. Because you want them to stop doing bad things against drivers.
Right.
$100,000, that's what we're asking for.
That's right.
Then there will be no more problem with airport.
Thank you.
In the government, you have whistleblower. Whenever somebody do something, they say about it. Why no, our driver won't get that things? And lastly, I'm talking about the TLC inspector. Currently the system like it is, somebody could not see your medallion and just call TLC, this driver did that to me. And he never showed up. You understand? He filed a complaint against the driver. Maybe he's your friend in a neighborhood who doesn't like you. You just call TLC, this guy did that to me. If he doesn't show up, the TLC just want to find you or they want to maintain the fine against you. I think they have to think about this hearing of the people who file complaint. If the people cannot show up, they have to dismiss the case.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner. God bless you.
Thank you.
Very good. My name is Mohammed Iqbal. My name is Mohammed Iqbal. So that just I have the 2 points.
Yeah, you have to speak up, sir. Mr. Iqbal.
I have the 2 points only. That first of all, we are making money for our families. That's okay, not bad. But we have no saving that we can pay accidents. And some students also come on Saturday and Sunday. But you think they can keep the $5,000, $10,000 in their pocket, then they start the work? This is not possible. And second is nobody talk about the meters. There is a meter, when we stop the meter, there is a 4 number is for the outside town. And the 5th one is for the stop the meter. By chance, if we stop the meter, push the button for the 4 number and drive 2 blocks, and there comes $1. And they give fine, too much fine from the TLC. If we do intentionally, that's okay, we should be fined. But by chance, if there is something wrong, it should not be the fine. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thering Sao. They're saying Sao, perhaps. Beresford Simmons. Asim Akhtar. Your name, sir?
My name is Fode Tambadu. Yeah, you call my name.
I did or did not?
Yeah, you called my name, but when I sit down, this guy was up.
All right, can you just spell it out just so I can find it here?
Okay, Foday Tambadou. Fode Tambadu.
I remember that name, but go ahead, I'll find it here.
Okay. Debiaski, I have a problem with the welfare or New York State. I was sick. When I had a sick, and my wife took me to court and for the child support, and the first time the judge said, this guy not gonna have a child support because he's sick. I spent 2 years in hospital. He keep going. And the judge said, this guy cannot have a child support because he's sick. When he okay, and we give him child support. But right now, no. Mr. Tamaro, go home and take care of yourself for 3 years. After 3 years, it's okay. After 3 years, lady took me back to the court again. And the judge asked me, I said, Judge, this is secret. It's happened to me because I was driving 7 days. Taxi. He said, well, how happened? I said, I eat in the night and I went to sleep. Next morning, I couldn't get up. We treat everywhere. We couldn't know. I went to hospital. They said maybe problem with my heart or my kidney, whatever. I had a surgery. After surgery, I have 4 hours surgery because he driving a taxi. Okay. I have a 4 hours surgery. Yeah, 4 hours surgery because he drive a taxi. This is sickness, we don't know. And the judge called me to the court, and then I went there. I explained everything to the judge. I said, this is my wife. We have a 4 kids. And then I have a sick judge. I have a diabetic. I have a pneumonia. I have a comedy. Some salt. And I cannot walk no more. Only 2 days, 3 days I walk. I explained to the judge. And the judge is telling the lady, why you don't stay with your husband and some
Sir, I appreciate
okay. The problem is that TLC and the welfare and state, they still need my money from my garage. They told me my guy, my boss, don't give me no car. And then look, let me give you 3-4 receipts. And then you can look.
I'm going to ask you to give the receipts to the inspector.
Okay.
And we will take them. And I'm going to ask that your testimony be concluded now and we hear from the next witness. And I very much appreciate you taking the time to be here.
Okay, help me.
Thank
I can work 4 days. My boss, but now they tell me they're not going to give me.
I'm sorry. You're out of time for your testimony. Please do give your material to the inspector. Thank you, sir.
I'll get it. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good afternoon, everybody.
I'm doing great.
My name is Beresford Simmons, and I'm a member of the Taxi Workers Alliance. And I'm going to be short and brief because everything that everybody says here today, as a senior driver in the industry, I totally agree with most of them, those that you could understand, especially Ms. Major Biggest side, okay? Because we are the ones who bring the complaint to the Taxi Workers Alliance. So he explained everything to you. So all I'm asking the commissioners to do is basically, before you make any decisions on voting and these rules, please go over there because these drivers are suffering real bad. And we just got a raise, thanks to you guys. Thank you very much. But you can't give it just in one hand and take it back.
Thank you, Mr. Simmons.
My garage has taken signature in blank form. Then I told them, why are you taking signature in blank form? Then told me, okay, it will take the time to fill out this one. Okay, you better come tomorrow, then get the form. Okay, then I went to garage and they have given me the form, that form.
I did not understand that last bit that you said.
Repeat it.
Okay, garage has taken the signature in blank form and blank form. Yeah. And they have given me the form. They have made report.
Sir, you know what I'm thinking? Have you spoken to our complaint person about this, about your case?
Yeah.
Mr. Ross?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's familiar with the details?
Yeah.
Yeah, are you sure? Is it? Okay. So, this is still an open case with us?
Yeah.
You're still, okay. Thank you. Then, I guess if you'd like to conclude, but what I would like is that we can, again, I can consult with our investigations team and understand the details of your case and make sure it is handled. Okay? Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So Asim Akhtar and Bijou Matthew are the last two people signed here.
I'm sorry, my name's Ryan Richardson. I was called, I think,
You were.
before,
I remember.
When I was downstairs and then letting us in.
Go ahead.
So my name's Ryan Richardson. I'm staff at the New York Taxi Workers Alliance, and my role there, one of the things that I do is when folks come to us with complaints about their garage or broker overcharging, I handle the intakes with those, and I work with Mr. Ross on getting those complaints moved forward. And I want to speak today about the retaliation penalty, because I know from talking to so many drivers that there is a real concern about the fear of retaliation and about the fear of losing people's incomes. You know, it's not easy to get a new car, and so when people are at very real risk of being taken off their car, having their medallion removed, all these kinds of things that can happen, that keeps people from filing complaints. And I think that the TLC has taken some great steps towards regulating both sides of the industry, and I have some really serious concerns about the proposal to reduce the fine from $10,000 to $1,000. I think that if the TLC is serious about making sure that the lease cap rules are enforced and making sure that drivers are actually willing to come forward and file those complaints, that retaliation, the fine for retaliation and the enforcement of that rule needs to be serious. And
If you were to interpret the rules such that the way it's written, it's $1,000 as it's proposed, $1,000 for the first offense, $10,000 for the second offense. If that rule were interpreted such as the second offense was not a second offense for the same driver, but the second offense by the owner, would that change your view of having the graduated penalty from $1,000 to $10,000, such that would that address your concerns at all?
It would not, because for the driver who's filing that first complaint, right, if there's not a strong penalty for the garage, they're not going. That driver will have lost their job. And I think I have some questions about the wording of the rule also. Is it a first penalty for a particular medallion? Is it the first complaint by a particular individual? Is it an agent? I think there's a lot of stuff that's not specified in there that needs to be cleared up. But I don't think that the changing it to $1,000 for the first offense is going to mean that there will be no consequence for the owners who retaliate against drivers. And I think that the penalty should be changed by a factor of 10, but I personally would like to see it changed by a factor of 10 in the other direction. That one of the brothers here said, maybe first offense $10,000, second offense $100,000, because the only thing that's going to keep these garages and brokers from doing the overcharges that they've been doing consistently with the rules, with the old rules, with the new rules, this stuff has not changed. There are still, many overcharges going on, an epidemic of overcharges, and real serious enforcement is only going to be possible if drivers are comfortable and feel like they're going to be able to come forward and be protected. And I think that, that's just the reality.
It's Vincent Patrick. I've been driving car since the year 2000. And recently I've been given a steady car at the garage Botham, yellow. And what happened is I had a partner who is no more there. And I had a partner who is no more working there. I took some vacation and I went out into the car that we were driving.
Sir, I'm just going to interrupt just for logistical purposes. Is there anyone here in the room whose name's been called? Because I've now called everyone who signed up. Is there anyone whose name I've called? Okay, so I understand kind of where we are. Anyone whose name I've called who has not yet spoken, we've got one hand over there, and that's it. We have two hands here. Okay, so we'll hear you. We'll hear the remaining two, and at that point we'll conclude the hearing. Yes, thank you, sir.
So what happened was that, I was driving this car with my partner 6 days a week, and I traveled. I went back home to Ghana. That's my native country. And when I came back, what happened was they told me that an incident happened with the windshield. of this vehicle. It wasn't something that involved in an accident collision with any other car. And so, and I asked them why, what happened. They told me that on the 16th December, they reported to them that this windshield has cracked. And honestly, I've been driving the car, and I never met anybody or anything that happened to it right in front of me. So I parked the car, and the guy moved the vehicle somewhere in January, because I left it on 28th January. And he told me that when he moved the car in the morning, he saw something like a little crack on the windshield. I said, okay, if you have seen it in the middle of his shift, just tell them when you come back. It's okay. And so when I drove this car continuously until I left 28th, which is January. They didn't ask me anything. As soon as I came back on February, they said that I've involved in an accident. So I was wondering what happened. And then they said, okay, finally you're going to pay for it. And I did a little bit with them because I knew that it doesn't happen on my shift. And so they ended up taking $220 from me. As I'm speaking now, they are left with about $19 to come out with it. Unfortunately, I couldn't bring some of the, but I've given some of the information to the Taxi Alliance that they should work it out for me. And so my point is, please don't pass this law, because it's going to be hard. One thing is, as most of us have been saying, most of the drivers, they are afraid of coming forward, because number one, most of the garages are being overcrowded with drivers, and the cars that they have, the driver is afraid that when you make any complaint or come forward to speak out, the next time he will not get a car and go out. That's one side of it. And then, secondly, I'm just giving the suggestion that if it could be possible, TLC will make a standard rule that all the cars will be equipped with cameras. Because the problem that sometimes we face is once in a while, some of the passengers, we are not allowed to lock their doors. When they get in and they decided to get out without even paying, one happened less than 2 weeks ago. The lady get out of the car, work everything out, put it and say, I don't need a receipt. And so, okay, if you don't need, no problem, just swipe your card. If you don't need a receipt, I can print it out or leave it as it is. Say he's not swiping the card. They ended up calling the police. And finally, the lady came back because they forced her to come and swipe the card before the transaction went on. So if possible, they should make a standard that all the cars will be equipped with cameras. So if the person goes out, finally they'll find the person back.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, Commissioner. My name is Asim Akhtar. I've been driving cab from past 8 years. I just want to talk about 2 points about the weekly lease. We're on the receiving end. It's the garages who decide that if they want to give us a weekly car or they want to give us on a daily basis. I mean, this is our occupation. I mean, you know, we don't have a power to choose that, you know, if we want to be a weekly driver or if we want to be a daily base. So I think by creating this loophole, they will, you know, you're eliminating the weekly lease. So every driver will end up paying 7 shift. That's, my second point is that if drivers overcharge a passenger by $10, our license gets revoked. Your license is revoked. And on the other hand, if a garage retaliate against you, you just want to fine them $1,000. And if I file a complaint against the garage, they will set an example out of me. The people, other drivers who will see that there was overcharges and this driver made a complaint, what happened to him? And it's not that there is different garages who have a different set of rules. Every single garage across the board have the same rule. Same, they will charge you the same. It's not that one garage will give you a weekly lease, another garage is giving you a daily base leases, where you can pick and choose which is a good garage and which is a bad garage. They are same across the board. Same with agents, same with the garage. So then drivers feel pressured when they come in to file a complaint that, okay, they're going to file a complaint, but if they get fired, the other garage they will go, they will be the same. So, I mean, you know, please, you know, vote no. And the retaliation, it really, you know, $1,000 is really going to discourage drivers to coming forward. It should go up, it should not come down. Thank you.
And your name, sir?
Biju Matthew, I'm one of the co-founders of the Taxi Workers Alliance and a member of the organizing committee. Been working in the industry for over 17 years at this point. All of these rule changes that are proposed are fundamentally connected to each other. One must understand these rules as a reaction to what was done with the last set of, with the fare increase and the rules passed then. This is an industry
that is coming back, a backlash against a series of progressive steps that this commission took just a few months, less than a year ago. That, I mean, if we don't place this within that fundamental structure, that this is a backlash, we are not doing justice. And the reason I'm insisting on placing it within that fundamental structure of backlash is simply because of the fact that what happened with the last set of rule changes is that for the first time there was an attempt to produce a balance. Not that a balance has been finally produced, but we moved in the right direction, and already we are seeing the kind of pressure that's coming back. It's important for us, therefore, to understand, look at the whole set of rule changes proposed and understand the links between them. The TLC says it wants to promote steady drivers who give excellent service to the citizens of New York City and those who visit the city. Who can give excellent service? Those who are steady drivers, those who are carrier drivers. And a carrier driver is encouraged by the weekly lease, because that's the structure by which he makes that little penny that he can save and feed his family.
Yeah.
What they're attempting to do is take the weekly lease away by this insistence on by taking away the 7th day, which was with the last set of rule changes, that's available to the driver free. You should have all been downstairs. All the drivers were not allowed up here because of the capacity problem. You should have heard the stories. I just finished speaking to a driver who said that he is forced to pay the 7th shift right now under the table. Right? He wants to complain, but he's asking me the question, Bijubhai, will I be affected if I complain? I tell him no, it's $10,000 fine if the garage retaliates. But he said no, but it's going to be $1,000. So the structure is that they are overcharging right now, and we have to understand that the regulatory structure that the TLC attempted to bring in last year has still not done all of the job that it's meant to do. We can't, under conditions of intense attack from the owners for the last several decades, when we make one corrective step, even before the corrective step has the time to catch traction, we can't roll back. That's precisely what we are trying to do here. So the lease overcharging that's going on right now rampantly is connected to the fact of the fine that will be levied on a garage if there's overcharge, if there's retaliation. These two cannot be pulled apart. And finally, if those two don't work, is the third window that they're trying to open up through this whole idea that a driver must pay for the repair. Where does that come in? I don't own the equipment. How would I pay? Why should I be the person paying for something that I don't own, especially when the garages are all self-insured? Right? I mean, we have to understand this as a fundamental attempt to destroy what the TLC did last year. And unless we understand it that way, and we both try to go back forward, we will never make it right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do the right thing, commissioners.
I want to just thank, first of all, thank the commissioners for your, as always, very diligent work. I want to thank all the folks from the Tax Workers Alliance and from the industry and the public, if there are here, who are not just in this room, but in the overflow room, and the folks who came downstairs and were not able to fit into either this room or the overflow room. I know for a taxi driver who does not earn a great deal of money to begin with, time is money, and if you're working 6 12-hour shifts already, then you don't have a great deal of time to spare to come and participate in a hearing like this. I just want to give you a word of appreciation and gratitude that you took your time to help us do our work here today. So thank you. With that,
thank you. Next mayor. Next mayor. I want you the mayor. Next mayor. United will never be defeated. The drivers united will never be defeated. United will never be defeated. The drivers united will never be defeated.